Dauntless, a free Monster Hunter type of game that just might scratch that big baddie killing experience all for free? Let's talk about it. I just remembered this game after seeing Monster Hunter while it was on sale. I was like, isn't there a free Monster Hunter out there? I said free, but I did pay for it back while I was in closed beta so I could try it out. I remember having somewhat of a good time with it, so I re-downloaded it to give it another shot, as I forgot why exactly I stopped playing. When I first started playing, it was back in the closed beta, and it's currently in the open beta. When first opening the game, it makes you create a character, you know, the usual. I broke the game pretty quick in character creation, took me about 3 minutes. But after a restart, there I was treated to a nice surprise in the character creation screen. There were much more sliders that were not there before, that let you customize your character the way you please, you know, you don't have to be a preset as often as you were before. I love character creation as it is what you will be staring at for most of your gameplay, and being able to look like what you want is a great feeling. Being able to change most facial features, hair, and color wheel with some good cosmetic paints and makeup to boot is a good level of detail in character creation, especially for a free-to-play game that is still in quote-unquote beta. There's a new opening cinematic, it's colorful, welcoming, and it throws you right into the tutorial. The tutorial was very straightforward with some walking and gathering, as well as a simple behemoth fight that just teaches you the controls. If you played a Souls-like game or a Monster Hunter in the past, it is very similar in style, with dodging telegraphed attacks and positioning. What was cool was during the fight I had damaged the behemoth enough to make actual wounds appear on him. As his tail was an easy spot to hit with consistent damage, you can cut his tail off, and that was really cool to see, as I didn't remember that the first time I played. After the tutorial bit, you were dropped into the hub of the game. Running over to the right, I ran straight into the Mr. Microtransaction himself. This is the guy that sells the Hunt Pass in Dauntless. The Hunt Pass is Dauntless's way of making money. You know, a free-to-play server-based game needs some kind of income to run, and I feel as though Dauntless did an okay job with this. They followed the same season pass model that's seen more and more in different types of games, but most frequently in battle royale games. They do have a free track for you, but the cool stuff you gotta pay for, and that's cool as long as you can still get some decent stuff in game. Then you go up some stairs to craft your starter weapons. Opening up your inventory from there, you're greeted to a nice UI with full transmog and dying on your armors, which was unexpected. It was a nice surprise. It's pretty in-depth for a free-to-play game, but I had no expectations going in, and it wasn't there in the beta. In the closed beta, so I don't know, what I was expecting, but that was great. I really appreciate it as a Guild Wars 2 player that's kind of moved on past Guild Wars and is looking for a thing to fill my fashion void. Back to gameplay, you have the option to be matched with randoms and matchmaking as you're searching for your behemoth, or you can skip it and solo the behemoth all your own. I recommend that you play with friends, as games are usually funner that way, for me at least, but this time I went solo to see if I could do it, as well as not having any friends. Giant Warhammer in hand, going for blood and wanting to see what this game had to offer, walking off the marked path to get some sweet easy loot. Got launched right into the fight. The fight was very straightforward with slow attacks from the boss as I easily slapped him with my hammer. It seemed very easy from what I remember from the closed beta. The second behemoth was a lot faster of an enemy, and that one I had a harder time with, as well as learning more combos while trying to deal with him. The game feels as it's more meant for team-based play. As I was playing, I felt the bosses took longer than they needed. They were boring and kind of needed some more oomph. They could get better in later levels of the game, but slogging through the beginning will take me some time. I'll make an update video if the game happens to change my mind, but as the game currently stands, it's a pretty face with shallow gameplay. Maybe I just stopped playing in the past because I got bored. Come on. The third and fourth fight in the game reused the same behemoths, only added the rage feature. But other than that, the same mob. Slight retexture maybe, a lot more health, yeah, but how can you reuse the same mob after you just showed me killing it? I know these games are grindy, but wait like a few more behemoths before rethrowing the same content at me, you know? With the new weapons being gated off for me, I can only show you guys the base weapons you can start with. They're the same as in the closed beta. You got your sword, hammer, and the chain blades. The sword is your standard weapon, good all around. The hammer is the slow swinging, low movement based heavy hitter, and the chain blades are your basic speed weapons. Not a ton of damage up front, but fast hits make up for it. Combat in this game is the most important part of it, and if it didn't feel repetitive to me, I would be all for this game. You have your basic attack and your heavy attack, which can be used in the combo order that you can learn from holding tab in game. There's also your Q, which has a different effect based on the weapon you're using. For instance, the hammer reloads its 4 chambers with the Gears of War-esque like reloading minigame. The sword, if you hit your Q, you turn into Link with full HP. Your attack's now throwing magical strike beams through the air and allowing you to dash to and away from your targets. Sounds great on paper, but in game it kind of just falls into a repetitive use of the same combo to maximize damage. Having a game based on your combat but having slightly boring combat makes me not want to play your game. Don't get this wrong, I enjoy this game. This review / look back that I'm doing sounds kind of negative, but I want this game to succeed, and it's close to keeping me in the game and playing. But with microtransactions and the constant gear treadmill mixed with slightly combat that just needs a little more, it won't keep me interested to play further and find out. It's a shame because I wanted to like this game. I still do, and maybe with more updates and some changes here and there, I will come back to it. In conclusion, the game has nice audio and visuals. Bland story that's just slapped on to give you a reason to fight things with no real attachment to the characters, just another quest giving NPC. Combat is getting there, limited combos with limited enemy variety leaves me wanting more but isn't satisfying enough for me. Weapon upgrading is a grind, which is good. You want your players to grind out the game, that's kind of this game's point, but not having new faces to see, especially in the first 5 fights, being repeated just threw me out, and it wasn't what I was expecting. The wardrobe seems to have the most going for it in this game for me. Dyes and shiny armors are always welcome, and Dauntless provides. All in all, the game is fun for a bit and probably a whole lot better with friends. I'd suggest you give it a try with friends, as alone it seems like a slog of big health bars and retextured mobs. Let me know what you think about the game in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts on it, with it releasing on consoles soon. Will you be picking it up? Have you been playing the whole time? If so, how's endgame? Let me know, I want to hear your opinion. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave a like and share, it really helps me out. If you want more content like this, make sure to subscribe. Thanks again and have a good one.